I'm a solution-based person. I've been an entrepreneur my entire adult life.
You gotta get in the lineup. What's your podcast? The Coach HP Show. I love it. Coach HP.
HP,
I like it,
what
man.
a vibe. You got a great vibe going on. We're happy we can meet you.
Great energy.
3, 2, 1, boom. What's up, everybody? It's your coach. Welcome to the #1 positivity podcast on the internet right now, the Coach HP Show. And today we have on a dude that not only can lift an island, but he can build an island. Cory, the #1 thing that I'm surprised with you, dude, is how much you know about like building stuff, bro. Where did that all knowledge come from?
I don't know anything, bro. That's the thing. I just figured it out. Here's what I'll tell you. I'm a solution-based person. I've been an entrepreneur my entire adult life, so I started my business when I was 20 years old, and been in this fitness profession, but I've always done and tried to build assets and things of that nature, trying to teach myself wealth building things. And with this specific project, Muscle Island, I was like, it don't have utilities. I don't know how we're going to build a crib on it. Like, we just jumping in with 2 feet and figuring it out. And it's been an unbelievable learning process. And so, yeah, I'm super proud of the progress to this point, but there's still a lot to do. So it's exciting.
So first question, bro, anybody that's starting an island, my first question is, where is it going to be? Are people going to boat there? Are they going to skydive there? Talk to me about that.
Yeah. So the island is on a lake in Ohio.
Okay.
That is 20 minutes from my office, ironically, which is amazing. So it's almost like I can be, and it feels like I'm in a whole different spot in a 20 or 30-minute type of situation. And so what I love about it is I can utilize it for business, obviously family, but also be able to like learn all of these things and build up wealth at the same time. So it's like, it's only a 10-minute boat ride from my dock. It's only 20, 30 minutes from my house. But when I found the property on Zillow, which is pretty hilarious.
Nice.
But when I found it and I looked at it, so a little bit of history of this lake. Dave Thomas, the founder of Wendy's, owns an island on this lake. There's a popular family that owned like the newspaper for 100 and some years here in Columbus. They have an island in that lake. So it's kind of a known thing. But I had only been to this lake one other time in my life before I bought this. So it wasn't like I was a person who was up there a lot or frequent there very often. I never owned a boat. I'm not a boater. None of this. It's all completely new. And so I love the challenge of it. It sparked a ton of creativity, and I'll kind of leave or kind of tie a bow on it with this. It reminded me I'm that guy. I've been that person my entire adult life, starting businesses, growing them, getting through adversity, fighting for what I want to do for this life. And I hadn't had a project like this in a little bit. So it was really a good reminder that I can pull together deals. I can do these certain things. I can be solution-based, and I can pull off things that seem, pretty out there to some, but to me, it made a lot of sense. And once I make the decision, it's a fucking wrap.
Dude, I love that, bro. I'm a big adversity guy. You mentioned adversity there. What's like the first wave of adversity that you can remember dealing with that you're like, dude, I'm that guy because I accomplished this?
Oh, bro. I just remember my parents struggled super hard when I was a kid. My parents got divorced when I was 11. My dad was a longtime coal miner. I'm a 4th-generation coal miner, so that's how I grew up, very blue collar. I would say that's probably an understatement, especially with the type of work that all my family did. But, parents super struggled, man. Dad was on strike a lot. Dad had a gambling problem, so never really had a lot of money. So I remember like, stuff being shut off, getting evicted places, like really having trouble with the financial side of things, and not ever hearing, obviously, like business person type stuff, financial stuff, stock, equity. Like these aren't things, way pre-internet too. You're talking like 80s, 90s. Like I didn't hear any of that stuff. Everything based around finance or understanding was always in a lack situation. Right. And so growing up like that, and then my mom, once she separated from my dad, we lived in a trailer for most of my middle school and high school, pretty much years. And it was $150 a month rent, and she had a hard time paying it. She waited tables, and it was just me and my sister and her. And so I just saw people that really disliked their job, had a lot of upsetness around finance and knew how to work hard and were good people, but just never got a chance to apply it to something they love. And then on top of it, dude, when you're trying to survive, you ain't worried about your IRA. Like, you know what I'm saying? My mom's not trying to worry about her financial future. She's trying to fucking pay the rent.
Right,
And
right, right.
so, like, you know, it's one thing, like, I heard 50 talk about this a long time ago, man. He was like, sometimes being depressed is a luxury. When you're in the fucking survival mode, bro, you ain't got time for that. And I really feel like that's how my mom was. And so I witnessed that. And so I started making up all these like ideas in my head, like, yo, this ain't meant for me. This ain't my life. This isn't, I was meant to do great things. I'm meant to do big things. Like, I'm just like, it has to stop with me. And at 14, 15 years old, man, I started having all these thoughts. I started reading about Arnold. I started lifting weights. I'm like starting to like build a little confidence. And I'm just like started asking all these questions like, why not me? Why can't I do something different? Why can't I be the one that changes everything? And yeah, man, I just couldn't really get that out of my head that like they were so upset and so it was just so much all the time. It was just, I think finally with me, it was just, I think I had enough. And so early, it was always based around finance and my parents not being together and no one ever having enough. And then, you know, I've had multiple adversities in business with business partners and buying people out. And, you know, I built a really big company that kind of fell apart at the end, which is Muscle Farm. And it was successful, but it didn't end successful, in my opinion. And so I've had a lot of ups and downs, man. But here's the thing. I get up every day to create a generational change, which I have on the top side and the bottom side, my parents, and then anybody that comes after me. And the reality is, and I'm willing to work for it. I'm extremely consistent. I know exactly what I want out of this life. And I've been executing that way since I started my first business in 1999. And so up, down, or sideways, bro, I'll still be up tomorrow at 3:30. I'll still be at the gym at 4 a.m. I'll still be executing on, you know, my personal development, my training, my businesses. And so, you know, I've just been doing it for a really long time. And the net outcome has been put my family and myself in a way better position.
Dude, I love that. That sounds great. Cory, do you have kids yourself? Are you single? What's your situation?
Yeah. No. I got 3 kids. I have my son will be a sophomore in college this year at Ohio State. I have a daughter that's a junior in high school. And then I have another son that's be in 8th grade. Yep.
Nice, dude.
I've
Dude.
been married for 20 years.
Oh, congratulations, bro. That's amazing.
Thank you.
How your kids playing any sports?
Yeah, so my son was a really good high school pitcher. Didn't decide to continue playing, but had great results with him inside and outside of the gym. He was a kid that was a solid JV player that really built himself into a number 1 starter as a high schooler and went from, you know, his front squat was 135, 185, and ended up front squatting, I think 335 or 350 by his senior year. Ended up throwing like 81. Had a couple no hitters that he threw, which was really fun. My daughter lifts weights all the time, doesn't currently play any sports, but she's actually a really good back squatter. She probably weighs, I don't know, maybe 110 and back squatted like 160 something not that long ago. And then my younger son plays football and lacrosse, and he loves the weight room too. So what's awesome is they've seen their dad be this maniac workout guy. I never really pushed it on them. But it's what they witnessed literally their entire lives. And so, you know, I'm in the back part of my office, which is like my office and my gym and everything. But it's like a lot of times when I'm out there helping like some of the high school kids and stuff, all 3 of my kids will be here because 2 of them can drive now, obviously. And my other one comes and trains with some of his high school buddy or some of his middle school buddies. And it's like, they're all here because they want to be. To me, that's like the biggest win of all time because I'm not forcing the envelope. They're here because they want to be here. And I own a hardcore grimy gym. So it's not like, you know, like it's real. So it's like it's gritty, it's real. And I think there's a lot that can be learned in a facility like that.
Dude, I love that. Why fitness, bro? Why did your thing become fitness?
You know, it's so funny. It's a great question. So think about this. My grandfather started me lifting weights when I was like in 6th or 7th grade. So you're talking like 92, 93. So there's obviously no internet. I've never met anybody that had their job of that was in fitness. Now go all the way back to his dad was lifting weights in the 30s. He died in a coal mine explosion in 1935. Him and his brother were on the shift and they passed away in a mining accident. He was already teaching my grandfather how to lift weights when he was 9 years old. So this is like a 4-generation passed down situation. So everybody in my family lifts weights. Nobody competed in it, but everybody did it. So they would do their construction job, their coal mining job. They come home after and they'd still lift. It was just like something. So it was always around it. Even my mom, she was doing records, like Jane Fonda records. Like I remember when I was a kid.
Wow.
And so then when my grandfather started me lifting weights, I realized how it made me feel. I was like, wait. And I was always a tweener. I was like 6-man on my basketball team, never like a star athlete, just like an okay. I'm like okay at a lot of stuff, but not really great at anything, to be honest. So I've always kind of been like an underdog grinder type of cat. And as I started lifting, it started building some confidence. And then I helped a few of my friends. I literally was programming their workouts when I was like 14, 15. And then I saw the way they felt. And I was like, man. And one of my buddies said, there's a job called personal training. But he literally said, but they have it like in California. I'm in rural Ohio, bro. Like I ain't never met anybody that had a job as a personal trainer. Like it didn't exist. There was a gym there, but the guy worked at the steel mill, like as his main job, and he owned the gym. And so when I came up with this idea, I got a 13 on my ACT. I graduated with a 2.1, like not a academic all-star by any standards. I was like, what am I going to do? And I found a 1-year exercise specialist certificate program at a community college in Columbus, Ohio. And so I worked underground as a coal miner for 6 months. I saved my money and I moved up here to give myself a chance at this fictitious job that they only have in California that I might be able to do. And my B plan, which was not a B plan because I didn't want to do it, was I would just go back to the coal mine because I already lived it and I was good at it. And honestly, I wasn't scared of it. And so I was working 70, 80, 90 hours a week, saving money and just hoping for an opportunity to live this new life.
Dude, I love that.
And that was in 1999.
What year did you graduate high school?
97.
Dude, so we're the same age. I'm class of
Yeah.
97 too.
Yeah, I'll be 46 in September.
Dude, I'm 46 in January, bro. So you're a little bit older. We would have been the same year, bro. Same
Yeah,
year.
so you remember, Hector, it's like not like I'm reading like muscle magazines and no one in my area, especially in Ohio, is really like taking that serious. Like no one really, when I was telling people what I thought I could do, don't think they really believed me. And then when I got to Columbus and it was happening a little bit more often here, I thankfully got in a program where the guy kind of got me an internship, and still to this day, Don Labenthal, he works out around my gym, and it's like one of the investors in my company. Like my professor really kind of took care of me, and I started really just seeing what was possible. Man, I was charging $20 a session. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy, but
I love that.
I built me a nice little squad, and the gym I was working at had me paying rent, almost like a barbershop. And so I was able to get a little bit of money together. And then when they started acting crazy, I was like, yo, I left and opened my own facility for $5,000, and it was 900 square feet when I was 20 years old. And I've been literally a fitness professional since I got out of community college. So, I mean, it's over 25 years.
Wow, dude. So I'm Cuban from Miami.
Love it.
So it's a whole different scene than the Ohio
Yeah.
scene here. It's out of control, right? So have you ever thought, because big shout out to you for even staying there, because I know, especially when you start thinking about in the fitness space, you're like, dude, if I go to LA, New York, or whatever, I can do this and that. Have you ever thought about leaving? Have you been strong there? What have been your thoughts on that?
Well, a couple things, right? In the early 2000s, I kind of got like found that. So here's the thing is in Columbus, the Arnold Fitness Classic is the biggest fitness event, and it's here. I didn't know that when I moved here. There's a lot of like sneaky amount of fitness stuff going on here. Rogue is HQ is here. Westside Barbell is here. There was like a lot of really, really big fitness stuff happening here that I started to uncover once I moved here. And then I ran into an agent who brought me to New York, and I got to go meet out with like some of the magazines, all that kind of stuff when I was a kid. Not a lot of that stuff really happened, but it showed me that I could maybe frequent and do some of those things from time to time. And then, so my whole thing was I wanted to be in Ohio, close enough to my parents and grandparents because they were getting older. My grandparents specifically, they really helped raise me. And that I believed that I could build a business here and that it could be great enough that then I could go those places and still take part in some of that, but not live there. And that's really what I've done. I've went to LA multiple times. I worked with Arnold for years. I met a lot of people when they came here. And it really hasn't limited me, I don't think. Actually, I think it made me probably stand out more because I was able to accomplish this life in the area I wanted to. And as the internet obviously evolved, I evolved with it and was able to build a great business online.
Dude, I agree. You have a great YouTube channel and a great social
Thank
media
you.
presence, bro. For guys our age, that's not
Yeah.
really that normal because we didn't grow up
No.
like with TikTok, with this and that.
Yeah.
We're old enough to know the beeper, the cell
Yeah.
phone, the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? So, how did you start doing social? Was
Hmm.
somebody push you? Did you kind of get the idea of it? How was that?
Yeah, what's amazing is, Hector, is that it was almost on accident. So I was building my first supplement brand and realized that we had to start creating content around it. And, I ran a personal training studio for 10 years. And every day I would come in the personal training studio and I was training about 40 clients or whatever at the time. I would write down my workout for the day way before our CrossFit's workout of the day, just like the workout of the day. I was following the guidelines for my studio. Then I would just literally at the end of the day, just throw it in a plastic drawer. And I did that shit for like a decade.
Wow.
And then I started, when Facebook became a thing, I started typing them out on Facebook for the company. And then people just started doing them, sharing them. And I was like, ooh, there's some value here. People were looking for this, content. And so I instantly, honestly, like over about a 2-year period of time, started to build a pretty great reputation for daily workouts because that's the other thing is I'm super consistent. So I just never missed. So I would get up every day, type a new workout. I did that for a couple years, started adding graphics to them. And then bodybuilding.com, who was one of my vendors at the time, came to me and said, hey, would you want to start putting some videos around this? And I said, sure, let's do it. Like, put me in, coach. Like, I've been ready.
Nice.
Here's the thing about our age group, Hector, I think that is awesome. We have pre-internet understanding. I had to build a business before the internet. Then when the internet came, I was able to evolve because I had already built myself as a confident professional
Right, right, right,
when
right,
the
right.
camera turned on. And yeah, there's some reps and I had to figure out some shit. But I started to realize like if I'm just myself and I would answer or talk to you just like you would if you would come to my gym. And so I answered every direct message, every tweet, everything. No matter how many hundreds of thousands of people I had, I did that every day for years and created a really good community that supported me. And I've got them amazing results for a super long time. So it was a natural progression because I had built the reps, which creates like a more of a confident person because you actually earn the reps, right? I actually spent the time. And I just continued to push myself to be very consistent. And then I built my own app in like 2000. I started my own like membership website 2016. I started online coaching 2006, bro. I've been like ahead of this for a while.
Wow.
And so I've been running a successful app business since 16, 17, and multiple supplement businesses. So I've just continued to evolve with the businesses I understand, knowing where I can put value and showcasing consistency and just a lifestyle, drug-free lifetime too. So people know my results are coming from my actual protocols, not something I'm not telling them.
Dude, I love that, bro. One of the things you mentioned there was our upbringing, and we were lucky the generation we grew up in, with
Yeah.
adversity, with the whole thing, right? Just like you, with me, the majority of the people I work with is in our generation. It's the younger generation.
Yep.
How are you relating to them? Because you seem like a no excuse kind of guy. So
I am.
it's really hard to find that balance because a lot of these kids don't understand that because they're not raised in that. So for you and what you do, how do you balance that? How do you navigate through that?
Well, what's interesting is with my son, my oldest son, I was able to like I hadn't personal trained in the gym in like a really long time because all my stuff had been in like I was still training in the gym, but I wasn't taking clients. But with his group, he had a lot of kids that were going on to play at Ohio State and Eastern Michigan. Like they were going to play baseball. And so I started, training some of those kids. And I think it was in person, that's the group that wants that. They come here because they know that's how I am. So the people I attracted were people that wanted the direct talk, want to get better. And I don't bullshit them, man. Like, no, motherfucker, take the weight again.
Right.
Like, and if you don't like it, I don't really need your money. I
Right.
mean, so it like changed the dynamic when I was doing it for fun and I'm charging because I have to charge for my time. but it's not my main income. And so I was able to kind of move in that direction when it came to actual like in-person stuff, and it's worked extremely well because I'm definitely not for everybody. I'm for anyone, but not for everybody. And I would say that yes, there's an aspect of that direct talk. No, listen, people don't even realize that they need it, or maybe they do. So they're either running the opposite direction from me, or they're really excited about it because they know it's going to change them. So I think there's more of that that's going to start to come around where people will be looking for that, Hector, because at the end of the day, I've just continued to prove it for decades, bro. Like it ain't on accident that I've been successful this long. It's because of certain habits and the way that I operate in a non-negotiable manner. And so like I tell the guys, like, killers only.
Right,
Like,
right,
if you
right,
want to
right.
fuck with us, it's killers only. And so it isn't for everybody. But the people that lock on, they change, and they're changed for life. So I've changed, we've had with my website or with the app and with the supplement brand, Max Effort, like, dude, thousands and thousands and thousands of transformation. I'm super proud of my body of work, of how many people I've helped change through the material and the content. But it's like, yeah, a lot of people ain't running to it because they know they got to work.
That sucks. It's hard
And I
work,
don't
bro.
bullshit them though, because it's just what it is.
Yeah, it's super hard, man. One of the biggest things I'm a fan of yours, I love the transformations, man. You see the before, you see the results,
Thanks.
and I know you have a like a process that you go through, like a journey and
Yep.
stuff. What's the number one common mistake you're seeing with people that are
Mm.
making that are out of shape? Is it the diet? Is it they're lazy? Like what are we seeing there?
Man, I think that people don't have guidelines. I think that we have certain rules. Like, why are you drinking on Wednesday? The fuck you doing? You know what I mean? Like, hey, cool. Have a fucking bourbon on Friday. You done earned it. Like, why are we drinking on Tuesday afternoon? Like, I just think there's some guidelines that people got to put. Like, why are you skipping Wednesday's workout? For what? Like, what, you think it's cool or it's okay? You know what I mean? Like, what a lot of people have this weird entitlement to, well, I already worked hard, I deserve it. It's not really how it works. Like, there is an aspect of that when you've been putting in real work and you got yourself to a certain point. I'm on the opposite side. I never think I do enough, man. I got the sickness, right? It's just like, I want to get better. I want to give myself a chance to be great. Like, I want to give myself, like, when I'm done with this thing, like, my body of work is so impressive that it's like that dude stands in a certain area. Like, I don't know. I have a different whole mentality to that. So I try my best to kind of be like, yo, if you're unhappy, it's because of these certain things. And it probably wouldn't really take a lot to make you happier, but you have to have some guy. Like, why do you think it's okay to eat pizza 4 days a week? Who said that that's going to work out for you? Like, oh, you're not going to take it away from me. Oh, you're taking it away from
From
yourself.
yourself, yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So don't think about, I'm taking things away. I'm giving your life back.
Right.
You're the one that can't play with your fucking kids. You're the one that can't get out of bed. You're the one that got no fucking energy. You're the one that isn't getting the promotion at work. It's just like, to me, it seems real simple because I've been doing this for so long and I was handed nothing, bro. So, and I'm sure if you just tell me a little bit of background about yourself, it's probably similar. So it's like, I earned it and I don't feel bad for one fucking second either because I
Right.
know it. And I just want to get somebody else flip that direction where it's not an entitlement. It's not an outward thing. It's an inward thing. What can I do better to make myself grow? What habits can I take to make myself better? How much time is it going to take? And that I'm willing to do it at a relentless pace. And at the end of the day, you can make some amazing things happen in your life. It's just, I've lived it. I've visualized it. I've seen it come true. I've had things happen to me in my life that I could have never dreamed of, dude. And some of them are material things. Some of them are relationships. Some of them are just like pieces of time that are just staggering. I can't even happen. And one of them is with the island currently. Like,
Right.
fucking kidding me, dude? Like,
Right,
it's
right, right.
unbelievable.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Out of everything you do right now, Cory, what do you
Mm.
like doing the best?
What do I like the best?
Yeah, that you
I
what you
think
do.
that, what's been the most interesting because it's pushing me is the island, but that's a period of time that's only roughly maybe a year to phase one, kind of like the super hard, difficult stuff. Because I feel like as I'm learning about real estate, like I said, there's not like there's there's more material out there now than any, but it still seems like there's like, you kind of got to figure it out still yourself over time, right? There, unless you have a specific mentor that's saying, no, this is how you get rich in real estate. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right. Of course, of course.
I always, have read all those things, and I've read all my books, and I've been, I've owned my own house for a long time, but I bought my first commercial property 3 years ago. Now I have this, and I have a rental house. And like, I started like putting together a little portfolio. It's not what I do as my main gig, but it's what I do as I'm creating money in my other businesses. And so I think I'm probably the most excited about teaching and going through the process of understanding the stock market and understanding real estate to a point that I am not great at it, but I have an understanding that's continued to help me build wealth. And that's just a big move for my family, bro. Like, it's a huge move to take part in the system, to own assets that then will help, not just my family, but, to pass it down, and just that understanding of financial IQ. So I'm real passionate about anybody that's around even my fitness stuff. I talk a lot about that stuff too, because, they might learn some of that stuff from me too. They come for abs, but the reality is I do content based around a lot of this stuff on my app. When we talk about building wealth and building businesses, I have a young group of entrepreneurs I work with in both businesses that are, been with me for a long time. And so that's like our normal talk. We talk a lot about money. We talk a lot about finance. And so I'm probably the most excited about being able to impact the people around me and some of the people that consume content with that. The exercise stuff, I know it like the back of my hand, bro. Like, I've been doing it my whole entire life, and I'm still curious. I'm still teaching myself. I'm still trying new protocols. I'm still training hard. I'm still pushing I just did something for Men's Health like a month ago that's starting to come out now. I'm still pushing myself to like a competitive level pretty often, but I'm really excited about that financial piece that was not available to me, that I can be just a bright spot for some people on that, because that's something I know that once you have that basic financial IQ and you can understand consistency, there is a compounding interest, whether it's working out or money, that can help a lot. And there's dudes that got way more money than me and have done a lot better, but I'm super proud of what I've been able to build to this day.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's it, man. The best is you can do is what you can do, not what anybody else has done. Trust me, dude.
Yeah.
As
Yeah, I'm not running a race against anybody but my my old situation to my new situation.
Cory, as a guy who's been around a lot of very, very wealthy people, bro,
Yeah.
and I got to them because I worked with their kids.
Yep.
And we're talking about in Beverly Hills, and we're talking about been like very famous people, and I've seen what they're doing and all that stuff. And as a guy who used to take the yellow bus to school, and I was in public school my whole life, bro,
Yeah.
and I always thought, because my dad wasn't like your dad. My dad worked for Pepsi, blue collar guy, worked every single day. The guy had a mustache. Anybody has a mustache, the guy's serious, bro.
Yeah. My dad had a mustache too.
Dude, and he didn't shave. I never saw a beard. It was always mustache, bro. For some reason, you had a mustache. It wasn't like the cool guys today that are rocking the mustache. It was like back then, like that kind of shit. And dude, he beat the shit out of me through the sport, like horribly bad, horribly bad. But like what you said, man, I had always associated money with happiness. I was like, fuck, man, these guys have money. It's the thing, is the thing. And when I got in front of these very successful people, I know it's not the thing. That's why what you said there's important. That look, yeah, there might be more, but are they happier? Do they have the life you have? Do they have the wife you have? Do they have the kids you have? The relationship with the kids? And that right there is huge,
Well,
bro.
that's like actual wealth, right? See, that's the thing is, like, I was reading, I forget what book it was. It might've been the new Robin Sharma book where he talked about wealth. Like, money is only one part of it.
Yeah.
It's all these other parts that have a true wealthy life. And I got onto that a while ago, because after I had, like, Muscle Farm had grown to a super big business. We were like in 60,000 doors, 170 million top line, but we were spending 175 trying to be basically like a $500 million. And when the thing kind of fell apart and I didn't, quote unquote, make what I thought I would, right? Which is kind of an entitled statement in itself. I really said, I need to look at this thing a little differently. It's not really a number, right? I do something I love every day. I got my own fucking gym. I got my own spot right close by. I'm further along than I ever thought was possible. I believed, but I didn't know it could truly happen, right? And so I started to like value it on a different metric of setting myself up for the future, having my time being mine, like I own my time, my relationships with my family, and just being able to also mentor people that I really like to hopefully see them live their dreams too. And you get a fulfillment, whether that's the kids in the gym, it's the guys I work with, it's people around me that I help. Like, and I do a lot of philanthropy stuff that I don't really talk about, like helping
Nice.
people out all the time. And so it's like, there's a mix of that that is like really, I think, creates a very happy life. And that's, and also, I never, g- I'm just not the dude that throws the towel in, bro. Like, I always tell this story because it's one of my favorites. Like, my homie Tyler Treadway, it's sitting off camera here. Like, dude, we do like low rim dunking sessions, like as an extra workout. We do like, we're the guys were out here playing pickleball when I walked in. Like, we're still like promoting play
Right,
as
right.
adults, right? We're still having fun. We're working hard, but we're having fun. And to me, like when I was just on vacation with my family and we had the U ball, which is like the low rim, like portable basket at night, bro. We're 2-on-2 and jamming on each other. Like, and I'm 30 years close to the next person I'm playing with, like, and having a fucking blast. So living younger, longer is a big thing for me. And I've been able to take part in my kids' lives in a different way because of that. And that is also part of the wealth. You know what I mean? So I think that there's a lot of components to this thing that I've really been looking at for a period of time. And as I've embarked on this situation with the island, I literally process it like this. This is something that I'll never have another chance to do until somebody tells me fucking no, or I financially can't pull it off. I'm giving it hell. The memories I can make with my family there, the things I can do with my business there. And not for nothing, I'm going to take care of myself. I might have 50 years on this motherfucker still. And
Yeah.
that's what it is. And my ass will be out there 85 canoeing around the fucking island in the morning. And that's what I see. And then I see it being able to be passed down and create wealth for generations. And so there's just there. So I have this, I've always, I think when I started reading Arnold's stuff, it made it real clear, man, as a kid. I've always had these crazy visions. I think because of my consistent nature of like early morning stuff, I've had an intuition that's usually pretty strong. Like my antenna is on certain things is just what it is. And I've always
Nice.
listened to that and then put like work ethic around it. Sometimes it's wrong, but most of the time, if I listen, it's right. And so, yeah, man, I don't know. I've looked at things in a different way ever since probably about 2014 or 15. So about 10 years as I've more evaluated along those lines that you kind of discussed.
Dude, I love that, bro. I love that mindset. I love everything, bro. Two more
Thank you.
questions. Two more questions.
Sure.
You got a
I got
sick.
time. I was late, bro. I got time.
No,
You
you're
do
good. You're
whatever
good.
you need to do.
No, you're good. You have a sick backdrop there, dude. I love
Oh,
all the
thank you. This,
posters.
hey, this is the mix of my head, all my worlds right here.
So I'm gonna ask you a couple questions. Why Ken Griffey Jr. and the dad?
Oh, love it, bro. Just exactly what's happening right now with Braun and Bronny. I just talked to my son, my oldest son, yesterday. He's done a powerlifting meet, but we didn't do one the same time. And I was like, yo, like, because I grew up seeing Griffey, as you did,
Right.
Griff Jr., right? First off, Ken Griffey swing.
That's sick. Sick.
Come on, right? Unbelievable. When I collected trading cards as a kid and stuff too. So seeing that, I think also because I didn't really have a great father figure, I saw that represented like with those two, like all sports, the longevity. So there was something, and I think that's why LeBron got this whole thing too. I think our ages, like we grew up seeing that. And so when my kid did his first powerlifting meet, which was awesome at 148, he squatted 400, deadlift 400, bench 185. And like as a junior, I think, and I looked at it like, I was like, yeah, we need to do one together, like on some Griff Junior shit. And he started
Nice.
laughing. Well, I just saw yesterday we were talking about it. He said, actually, Dad, like maybe we should do a bodybuilding show. I'm like,
Look at that.
all right, bet, let's do it. Like
Like I'm
he
in.
said, next year after I go, he's going to main campus at Ohio State this year. And he's like, maybe next year we'll do a show. All right, let's do it.
I
So I
love
think I
that.
always had that kind of concept in my head that I would want to be the dad that could also in my sport potentially do that. I don't know if I'd get a chance to do it, but it sounds like I might be able to, which would be really cool.
Dude, I love that. Now we see there, I see Tupac with Snoop, and then I see a Wu-Tang there. Who do you like better, Tupac or Wu-Tang or Snoop? Who's the better there?
So a quick little background on Wu-Tang. So I'm from the Ohio Valley, which is if you watch the Wu-Tang documentary,
Yes.
they talk about them moving to Steubenville. And
Yes.
so Steubenville is 20 minutes from where I grew up.
No way.
And so there's a heavy Wu-Tang influence from where I'm from. So I grew up really hearing like the RZA, and I think it was RZA and Ghostface that lived there. And they was
Wow.
all up in the drug game and all kinds of shit back home because there was a case
Right,
and all.
right,
And
right.
so I
Yeah, that's why he
remember,
moved. Yeah.
yeah. So I was in middle school, high school, like Wu-Tang shit was everywhere, right?
Dude, that's awesome.
I think and I saw Biggie in concert as a sophomore in high school. I don't know if I was ever the same after that. This girl I went to high school with, her dad drove a tour bus. We got free tickets to the Bad Boy tour that had
Nice.
everybody on it. And it was like when Lil Kim was with Junior Mafia still. It was like Craig Mack, Naughty by Nature, I think. Like it was crazy, like 15 deep. But I saw Biggie. So the Biggie Pac stuff going on when we was in high school, I think I just could really, it's funny because I'm from the country, but I can never identify with really country music or lyrics. But for some reason, I think I could identify more with what Tupac and Biggie was saying in my trailer, playing basketball, and just being like, that was what I was consuming. And I think it was the hope. It was the hope that I could get out. It was but also the swag and
No,
also
of
just the
course, dude.
confidence. And I
Of
think
course.
it meshed with me so much, and it really just formed me a little differently. I mean, I was a coal miner that like rap music. I mean, it was like none of it made sense, but it's just me. And as I leaned into more of really like my authentic self, it just kept working and working. So you'll see also Andrew Carnegie, and then I got Nipsey right beside Andrew Carnegie. Like I also studied because everywhere around Pittsburgh growing up, I saw Carnegie's name. So I started reading his books, which was Napoleon Hill, like Andrew Carnegie. That's who he was interviewing. And so it's like, and then I got on the Nipsey right before he passed away with the stuff he was talking about being outside the system and having to do his own thing. And that's kind of how mine's been too. So it's like I had a lot of, I could identify a lot with what Nipsey was saying. And so all of these people that I've consumed their content, whether it's music, whether it's interviews, there's elements of it that I could identify with my own life, and I've used them for inspiration, all these years.
Dude, you hit on a couple of people that I love, bro. I'm a big How to Win Friends and Influence People is huge.
Yep.
I've read Napoleon Hill, like him
Mhm.
discussions and stuff like that, dude. I love everything.
Unbelievable.
Before I let you go, one
Mhm.
question for me. Anything I can help you with?
No, you know what? I need to do just I need to hear your story. Like whether we podcast, whether we just talk, like I need to know, like, first off, what made you want to reach out and talk to me? Because we don't know each other. This
Right.
is the first time we ever met.
Absolutely.
Two, I would love to know more about your background, whether it's off camera, on camera, so I can just understand how the same question can be flipped back to you. How can I help you more? Because my thing right now is I'm just trying to get more exposure to some of the books I got. So I wrote a book literally called I Bought an Island and Wrote a Book. It's
Okay.
really not even about the island, but it's about the mentality to even get to that point.
Absolutely.
45-minute read. Any age group that's read it so far loves it. It's going to launch here in a month and a half. And so it's like getting some more like, just eyeballs on the things that I got going on, because once again, it's not for everybody, but there is a group of people that I think have really locked onto it. And yeah, that's it, man. Just trying to get out here and beat the streets a little bit and let people know what I got going on. So hopefully this will be the start of a relationship between you and I where we can help each other.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. This thing's gonna shut off on me because my battery is going there. I'm gonna
Yeah.
link up all your stuff, bro, and we're gonna talk and we'll do it on the show again and we'll do stuff. I love everything I'm hearing about you. You're an
I would love
absolute
that.
winner. What attracted me was I know winners when I see one and I go, this dude's a winner. So there you go. You
I
got that,
appreciate
brother?
that. Thank you for your time.
All right, my man. We're gonna be in touch. I'll hit you up.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Peace. Have a
Bye.
good day.
You too. Bye.